All right, here we go.
So we are doing a recording of this because we decided that would be probably best to do it like this as opposed to it because unfortunately the live letter was
It was a little meh. So if you are not familiar with live letters, basically the first live letter of a patch cycle tends to just have some really basic information in it. And it kind of just goes over what to expect. So it can be a little dry at times without a lot of titillating details, but we can at least go over what we now know we're going to be expecting. So the first thing on the docket is we do know that the patch name is going to be Gods Revel and Lands Tremble.
Ooh.
They are looking at getting it out in early January 2023. So a little bit of a wait from now, but we'll have some stuff to keep us busy in between. You know, we've got the variant dungeons.
Which we still have to do,
yeah, we still need to do variant dungeons. There's going to be the Christmas event that comes up. As always, there's the PvP season. So if you haven't gotten that dragon yet, get on it. Which I certainly haven't.
It's an interesting title. I mean, with the MSQ coming over there, we've seen that there's some screenshots of obviously
Zero.
Obviously, she apparently is very popular with a lot of people. I mean, she didn't really kick it off with us, but I think it's probably because we just think that like
it's all in the name.
It's all in the name.
I think the character itself is cool, but
we know why she has that name. It's obviously a reference to Final Fantasy IV. But the problem is that we just felt like it could have been a cooler name.
Yeah. So, and then of course the twins are coming back, so that's exciting.
We're gonna be in Garlemald. Obviously, we're gonna be doing something with them. Probably in the aftermath of Anima. Yeah. Considering the main MSQ.
And honestly, if we do not get a Susano Titan team up with this title, I will be disappointed.
Susano Titan team up?
Yeah, because Gods Revel, Lands Tremble.
Oh my god, yeah. I didn't even think of it that way.
Right? So, of course, like we just covered, there's going to be new main scenario quests. Yep. We really don't know much about what's going to be going on, just that Zero's going to be involved, the twins going to be involved. We're going to go to Garlemald, and who knows from there? Yeah,
it's, I mean, but this is kind of like what they said in line when like the expansion was coming out. They said like all the patch parts are going to be what leads into 7.0. It's not going to be like where the story's finished off in 6.3 and then you start the next part of the story leading into the next expansion.
Yeah.
All of this is building up, which does seem to be something to dealing with the 14th shard that was blown up.
13th.
Oh, I'm sorry, 13th.
Yeah.
Why did I? Oh, because the source
is the
source. Yeah,
the source makes 14.
Yeah, the source makes 14. Yeah, it's awesome.
Math is hard.
So yeah, it does seem like we're doing something with the World of Darkness. We're gonna be doing something with that. Obviously, we know if you've played Final Fantasy IV again,
which I haven't, so no spoilers.
Well, if you play Final Fantasy IV, you know that Gabranth is not truly and fully a villain.
I didn't know that. I haven't played Final Fantasy IV.
He's not fully a villain, so like the question is, what is he doing, right? Like, what is he leading towards? Because he's obviously being the part of villain, but he's not truly the villain. And he is like the final fight, but I believe he was trying to do something good for the wrong reasons, or going about it the wrong way, right? With the best of intentions.
My prediction is his goal is to get to Eden the Light Warden on the 1st, and drive the giant light whale to the 13th and explode the light into the darkness and give Kingdom Hearts back its heart.
I feel like you hit a lot more other games. Like you went right off into other games, dude.
My brain. So, and of course with MSQ, we're going to be getting
new dungeon,
new side quests and new dungeons. So the new side quests is Tataru's Grand Endeavor is going to continue, which I haven't done any of those quests. Tales of Newfound Adventures is going to continue. Also haven't done any of those quests. And somehow further Hildebrand
Let me
Adventures.
guess. Let me guess that here, Lily. Have you also not done those quests?
Also haven't done those quests.
Oh my god.
And then, finally, it's going to be further Manderville weapons. Now hold your breath, Meta, but guess what? I haven't done these quests either. There's also going to be a new tribal quest, which no surprise on this one because they announced this back when Endwalker dropped.
Yeah, this is
and it was going to be the little
That won't be coming at 6.3 until 6.35, though. Which also, same thing with the Hildebrand adventure and the Man of War weapons.
And the Man of War weapons. Some of this is coming in 6.35.
6.35.
So we will get the Lilliprits. They're going to be our new crafting Beast Tribe quest, which for anybody who's lollygagging on leveling crafters, meta, that's a really good way to level up your crafters. And, you know, you get to go hang out on the moon with rabbits.
Throwing shade at
Who doesn't want to do that?
Of this recording.
In the middle.
Can't believe it. Very unprofessional.
Right there. So unprofessional. And then we have the new dungeon, Lapis Manalus, which it's blue, I guess, because lapis, right? Right? Okay. That is... You can't see it, chat. I'm sorry, you can't see it, YouTube audience. But Meta's just kind of staring at me like, are you dumb? And yes, the answer is I might be a little bit dumb, but that's okay. I have fun.
I think the real thing to take away from the new dungeon is, first off, this looks like straight out of Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yes, like even like right down to the mountain, man.
Yeah, the mountain range, the design, the textures. I feel like I'm not kidding when I say I looked at it. I was like, this the same game still? It does. I really like snowy venues though. I think they're really nice. Mostly when they're more when they have like, you know, a clear sky and whatnot. I kind of just like that sunny, snowy venue.
Yeah.
So this looks really cool. It also has what looks like to be a underground area, which appears to have ceruleum.
Yeah, so it's probably somewhere in that mine area out by that frozen lake. And then, of course, we'll have the new trial. Now, obviously, we're doing the whole Final Fantasy IV thing. Yeah. So this trial is obviously going to be one of the fiends, right? But... Actually,
I think it's going to be both fiends.
You think it's going to be both fiends?
I think water and fire are going to work together.
Okay, here's my hopium. I want to put out my hopium for the trial. Because we're in Garlemald, and we're doing a dungeon involving Garlemald and probably the fallout from Anima, I know it's unlikely, but I kind of want it to be an Anima trial because I am still so upset that our boy was just a fucking dungeon boss.
That was really underwhelming, but from a story standpoint,
like, I get it. It's set the bar so much higher.
From a story standpoint, it makes sense. Our characters have become so powerful at this point that these kind of beings that would be like, you know,
primals,
these primals have gone from being, albeit a 4-man trial, right, to 8-man trials, to now being a dungeon boss, which is really weird. But the idea being is that they're these very powerful beings at first that are like unstoppable except for very specific people, to where they've now kind of been just relegated to a dungeon boss. We are so used to fighting them, there's nothing they can throw at us that makes them worthwhile.
And like, that's completely valid, and it's so true, and I get that from a storytelling standpoint.
It's a very good narrative. It's a very good narrative system.
It is. But I literally wish it would have been any other primal but Anima, because that is my favorite
Anima is so cool.
He's so cool.
I like, it's so frustrating because we really like Anima from 10, and then they were like, Anima's gonna be in here. And we were like, it's a dude. And we're like, okay, that's neat, but sweet. We have Anima on stream. And they're like, he's a boss battle. And I was like, what?
Look what they did to my boy.
Look what they did to my boy.
If you haven't done Sephiroth Unreal, go ahead and head out there and do it. It's not that bad. It's actually kind of fun because in patch 6.3, we are now getting Sophia Unreal. And
which I'm not surprised by.
Yeah, they're going to go through
the triad.
I'm a little nervous about going back to fight Sophia, but also excited because the Warring Triad was right when I kind of started getting into like really raiding, right? Like going out, being a strong, independent Lily, going to PF by myself, you know, doing parties and stuff like that to try to farm it. I was not very good.
I would guarantee you are better now than you were then.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody, even new players to the game are gonna be better now than what people were like then.
And so it's just exciting though to actually kind of go back and revisit that, which obviously it's Unreal. The difficulty is going to be a little different, but I'm excited because it almost kind of feels like a way that I can go back and measure where I was versus how far I've come. And as somebody who wasn't a really big gamer before this, and as somebody whose first MMO is Final Fantasy XIV, I find that kind of exciting and almost tittillating in a way. So then, of course...
Big thing. This is the one I actually care about.
Big, chunky.
Obviously, there's the new raid coming out. We've got a new 24-man. The next part of the story. We don't know what set of the 12 we're going to be fighting next. I go by my theory that I believe it's going to be, I would have to be in the game, actually.
We did, no, it's right here. It's lightning. We did both lightning and both fire. So next would be, what's yellow?
Earth and water?
Earth and water. So next would be earth and water. And if you look at the picture that we got of the wheat fields and the floating tree, do you know who that looks like? Do you know what 12 is the wheat fields and the tree?
I don't remember their names.
Noptica.
Oh! Wait,
I might be saying it wrong.
Nofika.
Noptica.
I thought, no, Nofika.
Noptica.
Ika. Nofika.
Nofika.
Okay, you kept adding a T in there.
Sorry, I have dumb lips. So I'm excited for this. Apparently it's going to be called Eurosign, and Eurosign is the, and again, I might be butchering that.
Eurosign.
Eurosign.
Eurotrip.
Eurofacin is apparently a goddess of like joy and mirth and happiness. So it's going to be happy fun time.
Considering the images that they've shown us of this, I'm almost certain it's going to be water and earth, because obviously the wheat fields constitute an earthy kind of idea. You've got trees in the background. It makes really sense. And it ultimately goes back to what I thought before.
Is you're going in order around the dial.
We're going around the dial. But the last one is going to be wind, because I still stand by the fact that
that motherfucker is, what's his name?
Ashan.
Ashan. Yes. This whole time, and eventually we'll get the video up so that you guys can see it. This whole time we have been saying that the NPC dude who's come to us with the Oppo is actually Ashan.
Yeah.
And he brought us here because that's what he does. That's his whole thing. And so then, next up, we're getting a new ultimate, which Meta and I are like, okay, because we don't do ultimates, but we actually have a lot of friends who are very excited for this.
We know there's some people that are super, super excited for this. They probably needed to clean themselves up afterwards they saw the announcement. But yeah, it's not unexpected. This is going to be a non-story one.
Yes.
It follows in the pattern of what we've seen before. We get a story one, then a non-story, story one, non-story.
Yeah.
So this one is probably going to be the Warring Triad.
Well, no.
Or, I'm sorry.
Omega.
No. We have Alexander.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Okay. So we had, first off.
My brain's not working.
So we had the coil. The first one was Coil of Bahamut.
Yeah.
After that was the Ultimate Weapon. After that, we had...
Alexander.
Right. Then we had what?
The Dragon Song War. Yes.
So now the next one should be...
Oh my god, is it gonna be... I turned myself into Shinryu! I'm Shinryu Xenos!
Oh my god, that would be really fucking funny.
What is it gonna be? I'm dumb.
No, I actually think it's gonna be something along those lines. I'm sorry, I said the Warring Triads, but yes, it's probably gonna be Omega.
And Shinryu?
It's gonna be Omega and Shinryu, yeah. Those are the ones that would make sense.
Ultimate Hello World, let's go. We're finally getting another deep dungeon, and I'm actually very glad for that.
I'm glad that we're getting a deep dungeon. It just sucks that they dropped like no details on it.
Yes.
This is not, and by the way, this is not coming until, again, 6.35. So...
Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait for it a little bit. Now, they did say originally when they didn't do a deep dungeon back in Shadowbringers, it was because they wanted to avoid burnout, and that's valid. I get that. I absolutely do get that. But it also kind of sucked not to have a decent leveling option. I mean, we ended up with Boja.
Boja actually is very good for leveling.
It's great for leveling, but it's also very, very repetitive. But then at the same time, I sit back and I think,
Deep Dungeon.
Well, isn't Deep Dungeon?
It's pretty repetitive too.
So
it's all presentation. Certain people just really like the concept of Deep Dungeon, and they'll go through it a lot. I enjoyed the hell out of Boja actually a lot. I thought it was a much better design than Eureka, but. The point being is that Deep Dungeon's coming. They didn't really drop a lot of details. They just said that it's going to be pretty similar to the other ones, and then there will likely be some twists or modifications to change it. I was hoping that they would actually like say a little bit more on this, like just to talk about a teeny bit more about what are the changes that are coming. I was hoping that this Deep Dungeon might be a bit more fresher, because I'm not gonna lie, just running through like 100 floors of killing things and every now and then throwing up a passive buff of like more damage dealt, less damage taken, so on and so forth. is not as interesting as the ones that are like, pop this, all the creatures in the room turn into frogs and chickens, right? Like that's far more interesting. Pop this, all the traps are seeable. Those are a lot more interactive. I like those. And I was kind of hoping that we would see a few new mechanics to build on the Magicite they had created for like an HOH. Yeah. Where you could like summon up a creature or something. I just wish we had gotten more details on this. Hopefully we'll see something about, in fact, I'm almost guaranteeing we're going to see something on PLL2.
So then the next thing we have coming is duty support for Heavensward. This surprises nobody.
They are going to make Final Fantasy XIV they want to make it as close as possible to an actual Final Fantasy single player game.
They want to make it so that the people who are not enjoying Final Fantasy XIV as an MMO or don't want to jump into Final Fantasy XIV because it is an MMO, they're making it so they have a chance to actually play the story. And I think that's valid because I think one of the biggest things I see Final Fantasy XIV get recommended on is the story. I have seen a lot of diehard Final Fantasy series fans say that Final Fantasy XIV has one of the best stories.
It is a very good story. I mean, like, if you're coming here and you're listening to this and you've played Final Fantasy, you know. If you haven't seen the story because you either skip cutscenes and you're just not interested, or if you're somebody who's just curious about like what's kind of going on, you're missing out or you're in for a trip regardless. 14 is really, really good.
So then the next thing coming up, we have some PvP updates, which again, very sparse on the information for.
PvE and PvP.
And PvP.
The only thing they made mention about PvE is that they're modifying the Paladin rotation, not surprising anybody.
And then for PvP updates, it's just very generic adjustments to PvP actions.
But
we
are getting a new Crystalline Conflict Arena.
Yes, and it looks awesome.
I love it. First off, it's Hingashi design, so I already have a love for what they're doing with it. But I love the fact that it's actually an inside area.
Yes, it's an inside area.
We're actually like in an NFL inside stadium as opposed to an outside one, which is really cool. I love the theme. I'm loving how they've designed it. There's flanking positions. It's got a pretty open, long area. It looks super, super good, and I'm really, really excited for it.
Definitely excited.
There is a money gimmick too.
We're
seeing the guy who shows up in a number of different quest lines, and including in one of the main story.
The daimyo who hires Yojimbo.
Yeah, exactly.
He shows up again. This dude's still around, man.
He's still around. He's rocking. He's throwing money in there. It's gonna be some sort of mechanic within the fight. I'm guessing. Actually, here's my theory on this one.
Gil toss.
Whoever picks up the most amount of gil that he tossed on the ground might get either a buff for their team, or it's gonna cause Yojimbo to be hired for their side to do something.
Oh, almost like the Gabi tanks or the Gabi mercenary in Rival Wings. That would be cool.
Do something for your side, like to go strike down the center arena and whatnot and stuff like that. That'd be really freaking cool.
A little footnote I want to touch on here is surprising nobody. They said that a lot of people don't like the Cloud9 map. Like, I wonder why. I wonder why a lot of people don't like the Cloud9 map. One of the things we're also getting for PvP is we are getting a new PvP series, which means the rewards are going to change over. So if you have not finished your battle pass, you need to get your butt in there and grind it out.
However, I believe this also means, because they are avoiding FOMA, so they are specifically going to, I'm almost certain that when this patch drops, Series 1 is going to be implemented as rewards that you can now use your tokens that you gain from leveling up in the PvP series to spend on those old rewards.
Which I hope so, because I am pretty much out of stuff to buy with Crystal Totems.
I'm out of stuff to buy
I've been buying Ventures.
Yeah,
you can convert them over into
wolf collars.
Wolf collars. Then you convert the wolf collars into wolf marks, and then you use the wolf marks to buy Ventures.
Yeah,
that's what I've been doing.
There's not much more. I've literally bought like class backgrounds and layout.
I don't even play the classes.
I don't even play them. Yeah, I just did it to collect them all. But I'm like sitting there and I've got all these items and I don't need them.
Yeah,
don't need them.
So then the next thing coming in patch 0.3 is something I am both excited for and kind of dreading. It is crafting and gathering updates, and we're getting crafting relics again, and I still haven't finished the ones from Shadowbringers because I hate expert crafting so much.
I mean, we knew it was coming.
I know.
We know it was coming.
I know.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't show off like anything.
No, nothing.
They just like, said this is coming. This is coming. Next slide set, right?
We're also getting new custom deliveries, and we do see the fairies with the little shrub man here, but that's it. Why is the shrub man asking us for custom deliveries? Who knows? The shadow knows.
They are also bringing quality of life updates to the crafter and gatherers as well, which will be nice. You've got things like collectability values will be displayed for reference.
Yep.
You've got like the primary fishing locations, preferred bait, and additional locations will actually be added to the fish guide,
which I love. Thank you so much.
I don't even fish, and I know that's huge. All you had to do, like when you were like, we're looking for a fish, external site. You had to go to an external site or the dreaded third-party tool that told you this information through the game itself. And it was like, why is this just not in game? New spearfishing location was actually added, is going to be added to Upper La Nucia too.
Which I think this hyped me up actually a lot.
Yeah.
This hyped me up a lot because of the fact that I am super excited to see them going back and giving a Realm Reborn maps more love. I was over the moon when they made flying available in the Realm Reborn world maps because it makes them feel bigger and feel more relevant again. And then the fact that they went back and added in this spearfishing area, which is going to be around Nim.
Wait, you find that the flying makes it feel bigger?
I do.
Really?
Yes, because those maps were so small. Like, even without flying.
But flying means you have less time to go from point A to point B.
And you're completely right.
Okay.
You do. But starting in Heavensward, we started getting these huge, sprawling maps.
I know exactly. Wait, are you about to say, but they all feel kind of samey?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But then when you go back into a Realm Reborn, it's very easy to go from point A to point B, but there's always a lot of interesting stuff on the map.
I kind of agree with you. A lot of Realm Reborn zones are designed pretty well.
Yeah. So even when you're flying on a Realm Reborn, there's all these interesting things to look at, and they kind of kept that with the flying. Like, they did a really good job when they expanded these maps vertically to give you interesting places to go and look at and keep in the theme of everything being interesting. And the other newer maps are cool and neat, but it really just feels like a lot of sprawling out, make things as big as possible, and not a lot of interesting things, especially in the reduction of buildings that you could go into on those world maps.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah,
and that's
I totally
a whole
forgot
different
that.
rant we can get into.
Yeah, it's made me very sad. All right, well, that's another topic for another time.
So
yeah, they're doing a lot of those cool things. They went into Island Sanctuary next.
They did, which I'm excited for. I'm glad.
Not surprised?
Not surprised because a lot of people loved this content. I think they were expecting people to take this content a little more slowly, and then people were like, "Nah, we're speedrunning it." They really underestimated
he said this
it.
is casual content, but he said it knowing damn well that all of us were going to be like rushing for it.
Yeah.
Hilarious enough, though, I'm the most casual of casuals when it comes to the Island Sanctuary. It's not a big thing for me.
You don't even have it maxed out yet.
I'm not even at level 10 yet.
Yeah, for once. For once, you're behind.
You are quite literally done with that island.
Done.
I know almost everybody I know of is done with the island.
Yeah.
They're not even doing anything with it because there is nothing to be done with it for them because they got everything they needed from it. I'm still like level 8. And I'm just like kind of just wheeling about on it.
You know what? I'll get it done.
So yeah, they're bringing new stuff, new items, new ranks, new mats, new crops, new animals, new handicrafts.
Nobody was surprised.
New rewards, not yet in regards to placing down outside gardening furniture and whatnot. They aren't going to get there. They said that's not coming until 6.4. So
I am kind of hoping
that
eventually they will let us customize things a little bit further with our cozy cabin. Like as of right now, it's just like a skin, and you can be like, I apply this skin.
Yeah.
I'd like to actually be able to rearrange items and stuff in there. That's my biggest desire for that.
It would be kind of nice if the island had a lot more customizability.
You'll get that word
I'll get there eventually, yeah.
The other thing that they're bringing in is that notification when a visitor comes on your island. I actually like that.
Yeah.
I've had people visit my island while I was there, and I had no idea they were there. They were like, yeah, I was on your island, but I didn't see you. And it's like, oh, I will run around. So I think it's kind of cool that we're going to have like a notification system to let us know when people are there.
Yep. They also made mention that there are some creatures that might actually do damage to the island. I don't know if they were off.
True. Like,
I don't know if it was like a joke or whatnot. Like, I can't imagine that the creatures would actively like either kill other creatures or destroy like your buildings and you have to go and renovate it again.
When they said that and they showed the adorable little Morbolo seedling, all I could think of was fucking Nibbler from Futurama. Like when they first
when he shows up,
like on the
you're gonna leave for a week, you're gonna come back to your island and all of your other creatures are gone.
And it's like, okay.
It's not.
I mean, so please, I hope that was just like an off-the-cuff joke because I don't want to be that tied to my sanctuary.
I'm certain it's going to be the off-the-cuff joke because it's a very casual piece of content.
Yeah.
That's how they've been advertising it. If you actively had to keep going there to make sure that your animals don't get eaten, it would not be casual anymore, and you should perform. New treasure map as well.
New treasure map, which is exciting because specifically it is the shifting treasure map. So the new shifting dungeon is going to be called the Shifting Gymnasium Aganon. And it's going to be
rolls right out the tongue.
Elpis, yeah, it really does. It's going to be an Elpis-centric treasure map, which is pretty cool, which means that they are introducing a new map. And we're going to have to go to Elpis to get it. So that obviously means it's going to take place in ancient times. So
quick question, maps are gathered, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I actually have a gather that I can do this then.
Yes, you can. And then if we get a Moogle Tombstone event, after this is released, they usually always have the guaranteed portal maps, and I always recommend those as something to stock up on. So next update is housing update. Guess what? They're adding more houses. They're adding more wards. It's going to be by lottery. Yay. Okay. You know what they didn't announce? An increase to the damn item cap. Can we please put more items in our front yards? It's driving me crazy.
I got you. We're gonna reduce the amount of items that you can place inside of your house by 100.
No.
And that way you can add 5 more items onto your outside plot.
The monkey paw curls. I want to be able to add more items in my house, especially since they're adding all these adorable like little one-piece items.
They have straight up stated that the reason that they don't increase the exterior stuff so much is because they don't want to increase the load that everybody has to deal with when they get into a zone. So.
I know, but damn it, fix it.
It is what it is.
I know.
Bigger thing though that came out, and this is about damn time actually, is UI improvements. They are adding damage type icons to the floating text and to the battle log in the game.
Yeah.
Finally, we can know if it was physical damage
or
magical damage or untyped.
So it's like, hey, should I use faint here? I don't know. Is it magical? Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, like we've got moves now that are even half magic, half physical.
Yeah.
Like one of the attacks is a physical based hit, and the other attack is a magical based hit. Like while Feint and Addle now do like 10% of their type, 5% of the other. I would still like to min-max that, like, so that I'm feinting an actual physical move as opposed to a magic move.
I mean, thank gosh with Troubadour, it's just a straight 10% reduction.
Most of them are like that,
I would hate to have to like try to be like, is it physical or is it magical? Oh, my skill is useless if it's one of these things.
It's also nice to see that we're going to have everybody's party member and a party member list is going to have the numbers appearing on it now for how long that buff or debuff is going to be there. It's so nice.
I also think that's going to be great for healers in particular because they can see how long like vulnerability is left. So we had a couple of miscellaneous updates, and the big one that I'm really excited for is the portraits. They're gonna show up when using the duty finder.
They said this was gonna happen originally. We've only seen them thus far in obviously PvP stuff. Specifically Crystalline Conflict only for PvP. I am really glad to see that we're going to see the portraits of our party members when we get into a dungeon or a trial, a raid, whatever it might be.
I really do like the portraits.
Yeah, it's only going to show your party members. It won't, if you're like in a 24-man, it's only going to show your 8 members, and including yourself.
Still cool.
But that's still cool. That's still cool. I actually like the portraits a lot. It's very fun. It's very cute. I know a lot of people in this game really enjoy it. So. And that's really it for the PL anyway. There was also announcements on the Tactical Reborn screenshot competition. They've made an FF14 chill arrangement like they did with the last one.
Yeah, like the last one was like the
techno kind of remix. This is more a relaxed one. Line stickers, and they've got the orchestra concert in Japan for 2022. So,
and that was pretty much the live letter.
I hope when they finally show off things in PL2 that obviously they'll show more detail. They are, like I say, I hope like they aren't going to do it, but I hope that we get a lot more information on all the content that they've been talking about that they didn't really go over, or at least that there's things to show.
Yeah. In
this age of a visual medium, right?
Yeah.
I hope that we get to see a lot of the cool stuff. I hope they go into a little more detail on these things, so on and so forth.
So yeah. We will more than likely be live streaming the next time the live letter goes live, so you can always come check us out. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video, and
as
see you
always,
later.
dudes, keep on rocking.